guys, how you doing? And welcome to Warlord Wednesday, and today we're going to be working on our 2x2 tile. So you can see my workspace area and there's my hands. Okay, so the camera's really up high on the tripod, so you'll have to forgive me if I have to reach around all the time to get to areas. I just want to say a quick thanks to everybody that's subscribed to this channel so far. Thanks very much, guys. You are absolutely awesome. The support has been tremendous, and thank you to everybody that's jumped onto the paid channel as well. My plan is to do 6 videos a week, so you'll be getting stuff on here as usual and stuff on the other channel as well. So thanks very much, guys. But what are we working on today? Well, today we're going to be working on this 2x2 tile. Now, we've started it off. I've started just blocking out colours. This is the easy part. It may look like there's loads of different colours on here. It's just the way it's dried. The only thing that I've added here is all the greys and stuff that you can see there. And I've kept the tile very, very basic because, to be fair, all I want is a brown, the brown earth colour here. And then we're going to be starting to put our grass on top of that, and then we're going to start weathering this. So today we're just going to concentrate on getting our grass laid out and getting other bits and pieces like that before we put on our snow coat over the top. Now, a lot of you have asked what kind of snow I'm going to be using. Well, I'm going to be using a lot of stuff you can get from the Warlord store, and I'm going to be using a lot of stuff that you can find online as well. So we'll talk about products as we go along and what I'm using to create what, because I know a lot of you guys were quite interested in how I made those craters and stuff like that, and we're going to be adding all sorts of beautiful detail to this board. Not only will we have a dead cow and a blown up tank in the corner, but also down the bottom of this, which you can just about make out if I lift it up for you. There we go. We've got tank stoppers and some destroyed ones as well. And at the far end, we have our buildings. And this board matches onto the other board that we saw, where we've got other buildings that go along. Now, on the paid channel, you'll be able to see how we build a little encampment terrain piece that will be going on there. That'll be for Wednesday's video, and we're going to be adding some other bits to this just to make it a little bit more exciting. Okay, so enough of me ranting. Let's get on to the hard work, and I'll see you guys in a second. Howdy, guys. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we need to place our glue on there. So I've got my watered down PVA, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to coat the board like so. Now, what I don't want to do is get it onto too much of the bricks and stuff like that, so just be careful how you paint it on. It does happen that you will go over stuff because it's just the way it is. What you can do afterwards is just go in with a smaller brush and just touch it up here and there. I don't know why I'm giggling when I'm saying that for. That's just terrible. But it's an easy process. It's not too hard to do because this is like the foundation stuff. You know, when I said to you the other day that everybody can do this, you can do this. It's just a bit of confidence, and it's just about knowing technique. Let's face it, not everybody starts off doing the things that they love. Making models, knowing how to, you know, create stuff for models and stuff. It's something that you learn as you go along. Very much like terrain, it's something that you just pick up as you go along. And if you get interested in it, you turn it into a full-time hobby. So these are just tips and tricks you can find anywhere, to be fair. Okay, so I'm going to get this all coated on, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back to you when we start putting the grass on. So guys, I'm going to see you in a second. Howdy guys, and welcome back. So we painted on our PVA and water mix. That's all it is, just PVA and water. Now, I haven't used a spritzer to do it because what I don't want to do is I don't want to get PVA in certain areas. I just want I want to have more control over it. I want to know where it's going and where I'm going to sprinkle my grass on. So as you can see here, we've left the back, so it's a bit more barren because we're going to be working on that, because don't forget there's going to be a lot of dirty snow up there as well, where the tanks and vehicles are travelling upwards and downwards across the path, sort of thing. So we want to keep that quite barren, but we're focusing on this area so far. Now, you can use a household sieve, which I've prepared here for us today. Well, by prepared I mean I've got up and got one, which will double up for doing the eggs later. And I have here a tub of grass. For a lot of you who are gonna go for an half, but what I have here is a tub of grass, which I'm basically gonna used to sprinkle around the area. Now, this is a mixture of different grass types and different companies, and so I've got a nice batch. It's really good to make your own sort of custom grass, just so you get a nice sort of layout. You'll notice that some of the stuff's a little bit thicker, so it won't always go through, but a lot of the stuff will. So I'm just going to grab a big handful of it, trying not to spill it everywhere other than the sieve, which I'm not doing very well. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start sprinkling it on. Now, it's going to go everywhere, don't worry, because when it's dry, we're going to go back in and we're going to hoover it up. Yes, literally hoover it up. Now, what I'm trying to do here is get a coat of even grass across the board, okay, and it's going to be something that we can do quite easily because it will naturally just settle everywhere. It's a bit like snow. Look at that. We're creating our own green snowdrift, blah blah blah, storm, so to speak. Howdy guys, and welcome back. Okay, so what have we done? Well, let's have a quick recap. We've painted on our PVA and water mix. We've then sprinkled our grass over the top of it, and then what we've done, we've let it dry or semi-dry. Then we've gone in there, we've gone in there and we've hoovered up all the excess and cleaned up areas where we don't want any grass on whatsoever. Apart from this one area here, which I'm now just doing. There you go. So sometimes even I miss stuff. Believe me, I miss a lot. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to add in our mud effect. Now, I'm going to work on this side and then we're going to start working on this side. And then we're going to clean up areas. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the rest of the board and just quickly do that as well. Because I want to get everything ready before we start working on the snow. And I want to create something that's simple for you guys to follow, that's not too hard. So let's just get on with it. Hey, let's just do this. Okay, well, I'm hoping you've all had a smashing weekend. I did. I've been playing a lot of the beta on Tom Clancy's The Division. I had a great time with friends and it was absolutely amazing. So I'm going to say, now we're going to jump into this. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to coat it into our board. Now this is still wet around the edges, which is kind of cool because I want it to just go in like that. And I want to soak up the grass as well where I can. Because what I'm doing is just feathering in our mudded area and just getting that all sorted. Now, don't worry about going over the painted stuff that you've done so far because we're just going to clean that up in a second. But I just need to get that up here like so and just paint it in. Now this is what I did for the other board that I did when I wanted like well-trodden areas or areas that were, you know, sort of like just wet muddy areas basically. So don't panic about that too much. It really does. I'm just going to do it up the side here as well because we're going to be working on this whole area in another video where we talk about creating dirty snow. Dirty snow. So I'm just going to get this done. Move that around there like that. I'm just feathering it in where I want it with just a basic brush, and hopefully you can see that because I do have a habit of getting in the way of the camera apparently. So my friend keeps telling me, and I've got to stop that. Okay, so I'm just going to feather that in there like so. Now this area here is going to be well trodden because it's kind of like a bunker area, so let's just feather that in there. And what I want to do is where there's a grass edge, I need to bring that in as well. Okay, so what you need to do now is grab yourself a cotton bud and just clean away, just gently, areas where there's painted rocks, like so. Now, it's not going to make a hell of a lot of difference, but what it does is when it's dried, it does give you a very, very nice look. Because it shows you've got like dirt on the rocks and stuff like that. Now I haven't done it at the top of here because we're going to be adding a lot of snow along here. So, and we're going to be, then when we've added the snow, we're going to be weathering that as well. So, you know, don't worry about that for now. Let's just focus on getting these done, because we're going to be doing a video called Dirty Snow, which just sounds wrong in itself. Okay, so I'm going to finish off the rest of the board and I'll be back in a second. Okay guys, see you in a second. Howdy guys, and welcome back. Okay, so we've added in our MIG Dark Mud, which is absolutely amazing. It's a really lovely product. It's a beautiful weathering product, weathering liquid that creates some stunning effect. Now already as it's drying, you can see the contrast to what we had earlier around here and all around there and stuff like that. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Now when that's set and it's no longer wet, it will look absolutely brilliant. But we're going to move on and add some more, and for this I'm going to be using Earth Natural Effects by MIG. Now again, it's a weathering liquid, absolutely stunning. It saves on powders, but I mean powders will do you just as well. Now I'm going to just feather that in over the top of our piece there. Just not everywhere, but just in areas that I want it, like so. And then what you can do is you can, I'm just going to use my finger for this for a second. You can just clean over the areas that you don't want, but it's good to have a cloth handy. Now I normally have like a painting towel. You should always carry a towel with you. If you can remember the film and the book, let me know. But just gently clean it up like so, and again go into areas where you want to add some earth. Now we're going to be blacking this whole area out once we've got our snow on top, but it's nice just to sort of feather it in where you want it. Again, it creates some stunning natural effects. And it is a beautiful weathering liquid. Now a lot of people just use it for vehicles. I tend to use it in terrain as well. And the day that somebody releases it in a giant pot, this man is going to be very, very happy. So just grab your towel and just keep going over it and just cleaning it up, sort of thing like that, okay? So I'm going to finish the rest of this off and I'm going to see you guys in a few seconds. Howdy guys, and welcome back. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding in grass tufts. Now you can see a couple that I've started placing on the board. Now these are grass tufts by Tajima One. I'll put a link there. You can go to their website. They do. We've used it before. You've seen it before, and it's absolutely amazing. Now I've gone for the sort of dried sort of grass, other than the bright green, because I want some plant life that's sort of dead. And this stuff's going to work really nicely for it. So I'm just going to get that off my finger and plant it in there. And we're going to be adding some greenery as well to it, because I kind of want like the snow to be sort of melting in areas and stuff like that, which would be quite nice. And it will really break up the board. You tend to find clumps of 3 look quite good together. And it really sort of pops on the board as well. Okay, so when you're adding it in, just think about places where it would look good. What you don't want it to do is get in the way of bases when you play bases down. So you want to try and keep it in areas where it's not really going to restrict movement and it's not really going to sort of get in the way as well. I'm just going to take a few more and we're going to place that just in there, which would be quite nice. Okay, so I'm going to put a few more on here. Now I'm going to add some green as well into it, just to break it up, because when we sprinkle the snow on this, it's just going to look amazing. Howdy guys, and welcome back. You know, it always goes wrong when you're in the middle of a video and your batteries die on your lights. It's just the way it is. Okay, so what have we got to do next? Well, the next thing that we've got to do is we've got to add our detail to the board. Tiny little Easter eggs that we can lay on the board that people are going to find and go, oh wow, that's amazing. And also we want to do that before we lay down our snow, because we want the snow to settle, you know, around it and on it and stuff like that. So I'm going to see you next week where we start adding detail to the board. I mean, we've already got some detail on there, from the dead cow to the tank, even down to the sandbags, even down to the bunker that's in the middle, and even to the tank stoppers than along the front there, but it just adds that little bit more and makes it a little bit more exciting. It's an easy process for you to follow, and it's fun to do because terrain should be fun. Remember, it's our hobby. Our hobbies are supposed to be fun. Okay guys, so listen, I'm going to see you next week. You be good, you be safe, and I'll see you then.